The study is the beginning of the book of Joshua. Joshua, of course, is the person who followed Moses and was the person who actually took them into the promised land. And Moses chose Joshua. Interestingly, his name is Yahweh Savior, Yeshua, the same as Jesus. And in fact, when we translate Joshua into English, it is Jesus. Book of Joshua, chapter 1. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, now notice this is the servant. This is the Lord himself speaking to Joshua 2. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. And if you think back to the incident at several days out when 3 spies went over, and Joshua was one who came back with a good report. And because of the ill report and the belief of the people, they were condemned to 40 years of wandering. And all of those who were of warring age upward would die before they went over the Jordan River. 3. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. God speaking. 4. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even to the great river, the river Euphrates, and the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea, toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast, all the way to the Mediterranean, and everything there out to the west. 5. There shall not any of you be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. And interestingly, Jesus, we are reminded in Hebrews 13 that Jesus made that same promise to us. As believers, as long as we use common sense and stand on the word and accept the reality of Christianity, he will always be with us. So Joshua's told, don't be afraid, and no one can successfully come against you. 6. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give to them. So the land is going to be divided up and allotted to the various tribes. 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. And this holds for today, of course. He is not to go on what some man decided. He is to go on what the law has said, that has been written down in these scriptures. He's not to go on tradition. And as long as God's word is taught straight on, then a church will succeed and prosper. When one person, a church, a group, a family slips out into what is against the scripture and leave God out, then the blessings and that promise to be with us is over. 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and thou shalt have good success. Meditate, etymology of that word has to do with chewing a cud, like a cow or a sheep who has more than one stomach, and they eat, and then the cud comes up and they chew. So we are to ruminate over the word ourselves, just as God told Moses. We are to meditate on it and think on it. 9. Have I not commanded thee? Be strong and be of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee wherever thou goest. And when we accept an assignment from God, and when we stay straight with what is written and has been given to us, then God will be with us. 10. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, now Joshua is speaking to those who are elders and who are over these tribes that will go in. 11. Pass through the host and command the people, saying, prepare you victuals, for within 3 days you shall pass over the Jordan to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God giveth you to possess. Now there are over 2 million here, and these officers are to pass through and tell them to get some food ready and get a supply laid out because they are going over. 14. Your wives, 12. And to the Reubenites and the Gadites and half the tribe of Manasseh spake Joshua, saying, remember the word which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord your God hath given you rest and hath given you this land. Now, back in earlier, when they came up on the east side of the Jordan, the Reubenites and the tribe of Gad and the half Manasseh. Now, the half tribe Manasseh, half Ephraim, they are descendants of Joseph. Joseph got a double blessing, and that is why they are called half tribes. Now, when they took this land on the east side, they were helped, and they are going to be told how they are to proceed, and it's not to stand back and let the others go on ahead. 14. Your wives, your little ones, and your cattle shall remain in the land which Moses gave you this side Jordan, but you shall pass before your brethren armed, all the mighty men of valor, and help them. So they are to be armed and to go out to help these other tribes claim their land and to put down these peoples who are holding it at the time being. 15. until the Lord have given your brethren rest, as he hath given you when they get their inheritance, in other words, and they have possessed the land which the Lord your God giveth them, then you shall return to the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses, the Lord's servant, gave you on this side of the Jordan toward sun rising. They're on the east side, so when everything is all worked out, well, they can come back. 16. And they answered Joshua, saying, all that thou commandest us we will do, and whithersoever thou sendest us, we will go. 17. According as we hearkened unto thee, only the Lord thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses. And of course, God will be with Joshua. 18 to conclude chapter 1. Whosoever he that doth rebel against thy commandment, and will not hearken unto thy words in all that thou commandest him, he shall be put to death. Only be strong and of good courage. Chapter 2. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. Now we want to look very closely at this person, Rahab, who's been called a harlot, and we are going to find out that her whole family lived in the house there. It was not a cat house, and that she wove very fine linen, and up on the housetop had flax. And we will discover that she will be an ancestress of Jesus himself. Was she a prostitute? Was she a harlot? It's hard for women to rise in the world, whether it be in Hollywood or in the business world, without accusations. Well, you know what she did to get where she is. And I will caution you as we read through here to pay attention, and you will see that Rahab has been the victim of some nasty gossip. 2. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. 3. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they come to search out all the country. Well, she had people in and out. She had persons who were coming to buy linen. They traveled a far piece, and they likely stayed over. 4. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, there came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. She didn't know where they are. 5. And it came to pass about the time of shutting the gate, when it was dark, that the man went out. Whither the man went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for you shall overtake them. So she said, if you chase off after them, you can probably catch up with them. And the man pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. 8. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them on the roof. They're up on the roof where the flax is drying. 9. And she said unto the man, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. And yes, indeed, they were warned that they were told that God told them that He would make people fear, that they would hear reports of what they had done and they would be afraid. And this is what she is talking about here. 10. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, and when you came out of Egypt, what you did unto the two kings of the Amorites, and there on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, where those two old giants were that you killed, O whom you utterly destroyed. And that is in Deuteronomy 2, the 25th verse, if you care to look it up. When God told them for sure that they would be feared, that people would hear about them and about the Red Sea and how they had this supernatural help. 11. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, He is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Rahab speaking. Yes, we were afraid, and she's saying, we know, or at least she is saying, the Lord is the God of heaven and the earth. 12. Rahab is still speaking. Now therefore I pray thee, swear unto me by the Lord, since I have shown you kindness, that you will also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token. She wants her people protected, not a selfish person here. 13. And that you will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. She's asking for her family to be saved from death and their possessions destroyed. 14. And the man answered her, Our life for yours. You've saved our life, well, we'll save yours. Meaning, if you utter not this our business, don't tell what our business is. And it shall be, when the Lord hath given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with you, and we will see that happen. Then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. Let down a scarlet cord. And she said unto them, Get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days, until the pursuers be returned, and afterward you may go your way. And the men said unto her, We will be blameless of thine oath which thou hast made us swear. We will uphold it. 18. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let us down by, and thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren and all thy father's household home unto thee. And this would be the house of Ulster, the red hand people, they will be called. 19. And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thine house unto the street, his blood shall be upon his head, and we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head, if any hand be upon him. So in other words, they are telling Rahab, when this happens, keep your people inside. And of course, that The red thread people that's history, and it is the House of Ulster. And her whole family, she had a factory there. The whole family worked in the bottom part of the house, and they were weaving linen. 20. And if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit of thine oath which thou hast made us swear. If you get out and tell why we're here, it's over the oath, will not be upheld. Number 21. And she said, according unto your words, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed, and she bound the scarlet line in the window, and that will be a sign that will save her and her family. 22. And they went and came unto the mountain, and abode there 3 days, until the pursuers were returned, and the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but found them not. Well, here they are upon the mountain, and they can look down and see those persons who are out after them. 23. So the 2 men returned and descended from the mountain and passed over and came to Joshua the son of Nun, and told him of all things that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, truly the Lord hath delivered unto our hands all the land, for even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us. And how did they know that? They knew that from Rahab. Chapter 3. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim, which means thorny, and came to Jordan. He and all the children of Israel lodged there before they passed over too. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the host. Once again, they're moving in through that host and giving a message. They didn't have a cell phone. They didn't have, couldn't use a trumpet or anything like that. 3. And they commanded the people, saying, when you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests and the Levites hearing it, then you shall remove from your place and go after it. They're going to follow that mercy seat. And of course, we know from earlier studies in the Pentateuch that a special family of Levites carried the ark, the Kohathites, and they carried that ark, wooden staves through the rings on the side of that ark, and it was carried on their shoulders. And of course, there were enough Kohathites that they worked in shifts. We know that from earlier books in the Pentateuch. Now, what was in the Ark of the Covenant? Well, it contained the mercy seat, the Lord himself. It was always in the Holy of Holies, and it was in the tabernacle as they moved. It was always carried out ahead as they moved through the wilderness, and it contained God's presence with them. It was that, and it also had the budded rod of Aaron and the 10 Commandments. It contained the mercy seat. 4. And there shall be a space between you and it about 2,000 cubits by measure, and come not near unto it, that ye may know the way by which you must go, for ye have not passed this way heretofore. And that would be about 3,000 feet, over a half a mile. 5. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, or purify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. Joshua knows that there will be some miraculous happenings. 5, 6. And Joshua spake unto the priests, saying, Take up the ark of the covenant and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. 7. And the Lord said unto Joshua, This day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, I am with you. So the Lord is going to give a magnification here so that they will all know that he is with him. 8. And thou shalt command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, When ye are come to the brink of the water of the Jordan, ye shall stand still in Jordan. They are to wade out there, and they are to stand. 8. 9. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, Come hither and hear the words of the Lord your God. Hear what? Hear what someone thought, what someone interpreted, what someone surmised. No, hear what the Lord said. 10. And Joshua said, Hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, Hittites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. And the Jebusites built Jebus, which was later taken by David and renamed Jerusalem. So all of these tribes, these are natural enemies, and they are going to be able to conquer them. Now, if you remember way early in our study of the Pentateuch, you will know who the Canaanites are. Canaan was that child who was born as a result of Ham's incest with his own mother. And God did not send Canaan away, but it was Noah himself who sent Canaan away, and that's who these people are. 12. Now therefore take ye 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, out of every tribe a man. Every tribe find me one. 13. And it shall come to pass as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that hear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of the Jordan, that the waters of the Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above, and they shall stand upon a heap. Waters cut off. Now, this is being commandeered by the architect of the universe. But when you consider that the gravity of the moon can cause the oceans to rise 5 feet or more at a high tide, and another example, a hurricane that occurred in the Gulf of Mexico, affecting countries in Central America, and it was a place where Belize, where the waters there are very shallow, and the hurricane created a vacuum, and that ocean swept back, and the people ran out and got fish, and the ocean was swept back, and it stayed back because of that vacuum until the vacuum released. So this is God who engineered the universe, who can control the jet streams and the force of nature. So the river here is being held back. 10. That the waters which came down from above stood and rose upon a heap very far from the city of Adam, that is beside Zaretan. And those that came down toward the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, failed and were cut off, and the people passed over right against Jericho. The waters were held back, and these people passed right over on dry land. And the waters were just held back, and the Jordan at harvest time there would have been in flood stage, as we will find out. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until all the people had passed over. Now remember that John the Baptist baptized in the Jordan, and it was the persons that went right behind the priest were those half tribe of Manasseh, Gad, and Reuben, and all the people passed over on the same kind of dry land that they had crossing the Red Sea. This video has been an outreach of the United Methodist Church in Essex, Missouri.